Hi, I'm Claire, and I'm going to talk about breathing today and how it has affected my pain in a positive way. So, my chronic pain started as sciatica in 1991, and it then became chronic. I had it all the time for at least 10 years, just constant pain 24/7. And it got to the point where I didn't get any help from anybody in the medical profession, no support, nobody could even diagnose me. The pain changed. It wasn't just sciatica, it became sort of areas of pain, mainly in my lower back, sort of mid back, lower back, especially buttock area and hip area, and in the tops of my thighs as well. The sciatica would also be in both legs at the same time, of varying degrees of pain. So it really, really was just hideous, I guess, looking back now. I've got to a stage now where I'm pretty much pain free, and I'm managing so that I don't have flare ups. I haven't had sciatica for a long time now, many years, and I'm able to pretty much work out what I think happened, why I got the sciatica in the first place, then how it became chronic, and how muscle tension took over through something called fear avoidance. So that's sort of the fear of not only doing activities and practical things, but an internal fear avoidance. So my body overcompensated, which means that muscles got sort of extra load. So instead of the muscles doing what they should have been doing, some were taking the jobs of the ones that my body was saying, don't use those muscles, because if you do, it's really, really going to hurt. And then with the practical fear avoidance, I would do the same thing. If I was about to do something, I would probably unknowingly tense my muscles, which would just make the pain even worse and make the whole practical event even harder. Things like fatigue. Sometimes you get that with exercise. If you work a muscle too much, it gets fatigued, and you have to rest it. So my body was probably in a constant state of fatiguing, because the muscles were so tight and tense. It makes your body feel quite heavy. It's a very heavy feeling. The sciatica, on the other hand, was like a sharp feeling, like an electric bolt of lightning. So very different feelings of pain that used to go on in my body, and the overcompensation caused me to move in unnatural ways. So I was born with all limbs working, everything worked as it should. The pain caused patterns to emerge which were unnatural to the way that my body had known how to move up until the age of 18. So I adopted those movements to the point that they became normal. And what I mean by that is that I didn't recognize my spatial awareness of my body was completely gone. So what I felt, the way that I moved, became normal for me, and it felt normal. So this is all very detrimental in keeping that pain cycle going, and somehow I had to stop that pain cycle, which I began to do. It started with exercise, which is good. Exercise is good. It's not so good if you've got the internal fear avoidance, because if your body doesn't move in the way to maximize the exercise and get the most out of the exercise, you can actually do more damage than good. And in the same way, if you have a fear of the exercise, then that will still feed into the pain. But anyhow, I started off with yoga. Pilates, actually. I think I started with Pilates and moved on to yoga. Pilates is very core based, so around your stomach area, sort of mid stomach and lower stomach, and it was really hard work, but it was hard work for me because I had so much tension in my body, so I didn't really feel the benefit. But then I moved on to yoga, which it was a long time ago. I recall that it was difficult, but not in the same way as Pilates. It was much more of a whole body workout than just focusing on the core. But what I'd learned in Pilates was my standing posture. It was really skew-if, and I'd never noticed. And the other thing I learned in Pilates, which helped me then in yoga, was breath. And I remember standing there the day that the teacher said, breathe into your lungs. I didn't know what she meant. And she said to put your hands on the side of your chest and breathe into your lungs, into the side. And I could see a reflection of myself in some glass on the left-hand side next to where I was stood. And I focused on moving my breath into my lungs and making them move out to the side. And they did. And it was like a magic trick. So I kind of learned this new breathing technique. So when I started doing yoga, the breath work is a big part of yoga, big part of yoga. And I started doing yoga in 2004, and it's been a part of my life ever since. I loved it right from day one. I liked the physical side of it, even though I wasn't doing a lot of it correctly, and it would actually make my pain worse. The breath work was very important, and the meditation. So in the classes that I do, which are mainly hatha yoga, you start off with relaxation or meditation at the beginning, but specifically at the end. And depending on what teacher you've got and what practice, what type of yoga you practice, depends on the breath work that you do. But over the years in yoga, I really enjoyed the breath work and learning to breathe in different parts of my lungs and my stomach, my chest. What really helped was to use the breath in terms of relaxation. And I didn't really know about the power of the breath and the relaxation for my tense muscles until a few years ago. So really quite recent. And it was only because I was on a private pain course where we had to meditate for 30 days. But there was also a course on breath work as well. So when I used both things together, the breath work and the meditation on a daily basis, at least a couple of times a day, I began to realise how much my muscles were letting go. And I could tell the difference between being tense and truly being relaxed. And this is all down to breath work. You've got to think about it as well. It's not just breathing in and everything happens like magic. It's understanding how the breath work can help you identify any points of tension, be it muscular tension, body tension, but also mind as well. So you can relax your mind, which then relaxes your body. And there's breathing techniques that I use, which is belly breathing. That's the best one for me. But also breathing into different parts of the lungs. That will strengthen the lungs. But there's also breathing techniques that can make you feel invigorated. So if you're feeling tired, you can use the breath to actually make you wake up a little bit more. And equally, there's breath work you can do to calm you down and relax you, say, before you go to bed. So the breath is really, really, really powerful, and it's helped me enormously with getting my pain under control and, becoming pain-free. And I think it's something that people with chronic pain, it doesn't matter what type of chronic pain, I don't see how breath work will not help. It's absolutely worth trying and giving it a proper go, not just a couple of days a week. You've really got to do it for a sustained period of time, to recognise any changes in your body, and how it can even help you with exercise and make you fitter. I can go on walks now, long walks, and I can walk up a hill, but because I've trained my body and my breath, I can breathe in deeply and have long exhales, but I can feel my heart is 10 to the dozen, but I've regulated my breath. So it also helps with any strenuous exercise, as well as just having that relaxation effect and helping me let go of my muscles now and take that tension away, which was a major contributory factor in my chronic pain. So I would encourage everybody to give it a go and learn to breathe and learn to breathe well.